goalkeeper Brendan Cummins, well, former goalkeeper Tipperary Brendan Cummins, but goalkeeping coach maybe more so these days. Brendan, how are you doing?
I'm sure I'm great now, yeah. Does that mean I have to say something controversial about Michael Verney here now to let Twitter blow up or something like that?
If you could,
take the country role.
Did he ever, I don't know, lay a dirty stroke on you in a match? Did he ever write anything a little bit over the top about you?
No, he might have, yeah. He could have been one of these journalists who said the flight of the ball deceived the goalie. Those nice lines to use when you were reading of a Sunday, having left in a soft one. When you saw that, it meant goalie left in a blooper, and that's the end of it, like, you know. But quite too bad, and fair play to him for doing these press ups and all. The cause is great, and I'd be interested to see if he does actually make it to 1,000.
Yeah. Oh, do you think? Well, he's pushing hard so far. But just yourself, Brendan. At the moment, the big conversation is if and when GAA does come back. Would you like to see it behind closed doors, or do you want to wait until everyone can go?
I think it'll be a case of all or nothing, I think, on it. And behind closed doors, I'm not so sure. I see earlier on there on Sky, the Premier League, they're having the discussion, what happens if a player or one of the physios gets COVID-19 and then the whole panel is shut down. It's as simple as that. So I certainly can see 80,000 people in Croke Park in October and November, so I'm not too sure where the inter-county scene goes. Certainly at club level, I think there is chinks of light, is probably the best way of putting it, that we might get something going at some stage later in the year, because obviously the volume of crowds. But inter-county, unless a vaccine, I think, comes into play on this thing, which would be a huge game changer, I'm not so sure it'll play behind closed doors, because the players are amateurs, and if they get it, they have to go home, isolate, could meet a family member, and really we don't want anything like happening like that for our players. And sports really becomes secondary. We've seen that in the last month or 6 weeks, and that's it. We just have to mind each other.
So how much has hurling changed since you made your debut? Was it back in 1992 or 3 that you made your debut with Tipperary? Like, just how much did it change?
Yeah, it's changed. Look, it's evolving constantly. I think every 2 or 3 years now the game is evolving. When I started, certainly my first championship game was in 95, first league game was in 93. It was a case of Brendan lash the ball down the field as far as you can. Then the forwards started to give out a little bit. Declan Ryan was starting to give me rumblings in the dressing room. By the time we got to, we'll say, 98, 99, Nicky came on, and then Nicky had me caught up saying you need to do this better and that better, and puck outs need to be better. So it was constantly trying to get better and better. So yeah, so every year it's a bit like a computer now. If you stand still, you're obsolete, and that's the holy all of it. And certainly we've seen in the last number of years, Limerick, we thought when we see Kilkenny and Tipperary's trilogies that I played in, then Tipperary, Kilkenny 16, then you say Waterford had evolved the game against the sweeper, and Limerick then had taken what Kilkenny and Tip did, plus what Waterford did, plus a higher skill level, and implemented that, So, I mean, it's just constantly, it has to be, and that's the way it is.
And just to quickly remind everyone that this is all for a good cause, and you can donate on Michael's GoFundMe page, which is of course in the description of this video. It's for Do It For Dan. It's also for PPE for the HSE workers. So very, very good causes. Brendan, just who would have been the biggest influence on your career? Underage, when you came on the tip scene, whatever it might be.
I suppose underage, I'm no different than any other player, as my dad would have brought me down to the field. But I think once I got to inter-county level, what lit me up the most personally was Nicky English. He found something inside me, he motivated me, he challenged me the way I felt that I needed to be challenged. He helped me set goals, all that kind of stuff. In 99, my game really went to another level. And then I suppose, after the whole Babs in 2007, then Eamon O'Shea arrived on the scene, and I think the biggest thing Eamon O'Shea gave me was puck outs, and I had to change my swing. I had to change the way I looked at the game. And not only, some managements will come in and tell you need to change this, you need to change that, but Eamon actually showed me how to change, and then he gave me homework for all the world and what we needed to do. I went and did it, and knew that if I could do it properly, like he said, the team would change. So I knew where I fit in the setup as well, hitting out the ball. So between the flight of the ball, the rhythm of the swing, all that kind of stuff, and Paddy will tell you all about it. He's a drug, that man, and I had a serious high under him and O'Shea, to say the least, and it was fantastic, because, like I say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
And just for the viewers out there expecting Eamon Dunphy on at the moment, we had a bit of an issue. Like he doesn't actually have a mobile phone, so we're waiting for his other half to get back to us and set up the Zoom link. But as of yet, it just hasn't quite happened. So hopefully we'll get that sorted soon enough. Brendan, one time I remember interviewing you at Croke Park. It was at some gig or other. And a thing you mentioned to me was how you were motivated by Liam Sheedy. I think it was probably 2010. And then when you came out of the dressing room, there was sort of newspaper clippings everywhere showing you what people thought of you. Do you remember that that particular eventuality?
Yeah, I think even back in '99, we would have had music going in on the bus and all, but that was a big part of Liam. And I know from hearing from other players in inter-county panels, it is a huge part of motivating yourself and getting you psychologically set in a siege mentality, I suppose, to do things that appear like they're superhuman. So if I'm down in Croke Park with 80,000 people around me and I start to realise, like, oh my God, if I make a mistake. But if you're motivated by, I'm against the world, nobody else thinks I can win this match, only me and the 14 fellas in front of me and the other 26 or 7 fellas that are on the bench and the backroom team, then certainly that's it. And I think reminders like that are all over the dressing rooms. You can take it as honesty, trust, leadership, all those words are on every dressing room, or you can put newspaper cuttings on the ground. Like I think we had that in 2009 before we played Kilkenny. They were on the ground as we went out in Thurles because Kilkenny had absolutely hammered us, you remember, in the league just before half time. I'll never forget it, Martin Comerford chipped me, and that was their 5th goal in the first half. And the shout was lock the doors and make them watch it. And Kilkenny supporters, in fairness, they were in their absolute pomp at that stage, Kilkenny eating teams. So like we come from that position to 2009, then later in the year getting them in a league final. So it absolutely makes sense to remind your players of that dark place and say we're not going there again. And I think it fueled the performance in us. And then I suppose eventually a team develops and evolves, which we probably did in 10 and 11, into being what's called the self-starters. You don't need to be throwing all that kind of stuff at them. They know themselves. But when they're trying to find their way like we were in 2009, it was the right thing to do.
Did you ever doubt yourself at any stage during your career? You'd won All-Stars, and I think you're even been picked on that Sunday game team of the Sunday game era there at the moment. I'm not sure if you're actually involved in picking the team, but
I wouldn't have when I'm picking it like. It's public vote. It's public vote.
Yeah, it seems to be causing consternation too. But did you ever doubt yourself throughout your career? I mean, of course, there was that famous situation in 2007 when you were left on the bench for Jerry Kennedy, and then the team ends up getting knocked out against Wexford, and I'm not putting that down to Jerry Kennedy. But did you actually doubt yourself at all during that?
No, I never doubted myself off the pitch, we'll say, in training and all that in preparation. But there was times, like there's 2 games in particular stick out in my head where I definitely had the wobbles. Like it was the 2001 All-Ireland semi-final against Wexford, when things had been going really well for me in 2000 into 2001. I was flying it. It looked like you can't get a goal on that fella. Everything was going great, and then something got inside my head in that All-Ireland semi-final, and I could not wait for the final whistle to blow. I remember asking the umpire with about 10-12 minutes left, how long's left? He said about 12 minutes. I think we're 5 or 6 points up. I remember him saying to me, look, you're probably out the gap here, and I thought I'll get away with this one. Next thing, Larry Gorman flashed one in over my right shoulder. I don't know, was it Mitch Jordan, got one into the corner, flew under my legs. And I asked the umpire how long's left. He said there's only a minute, he said, and we were a pint up. You better hope he blows it up. Because to be honest, I was punch drunk. It was just something that happens. And the next time it happened actually was the 2011 All-Ireland final. And I had a serious dose of the yips that day.
Really?
I was able to mask it to a certain extent, but inside my head, I definitely didn't enjoy what was going on that day. And there are moments, and maybe that day was one where you say to yourself, look, if I can get out of here, I take it, and that's a dark place your mind goes, and how much experience you have. Every player encounters it, goalies especially, because it's a lonely enough spot. But I remember that day Mick Verney actually took a shot on me about 20 yards. I remember thinking when he hit it, this is my Ken Hogan moment, like when the ball flies in and everyone kind of says, oh my God, look what you have to do, kind of thing. And somehow, some way, I controlled the ball, went out to the side and cleared it. And to this day, to be honest with you, Shane, I'm not too sure how, but I'm glad it didn't go in.
Yeah, and of course you had some fantastic days, won your All-Stars, won your All-Irelands. Can I ask you about the guys that you would have faced over the years? And by that I mean the attackers bearing down on goals. Were there any particular guys where you thought when he got the ball, no, I'm just going to be turning around and picking up the ball here?
Well, there's a few, I suppose, as the game developed. DJ Carey was certainly one anyway. When he hit it, it stayed hit. Like Paul Flynn, even up to underage, like he's a year or two older than me, Flynn was the one. Like he was lethal. Like if Flynn's taking 65, you're wondering if he's going to go for a goal. He had nothing else in his mind when he hit in the back of the net, and it was, a bit like Eugene Cloonan was the same way in Galway. They had this ability to roll their wrists over the ball, and it would start probably 2 feet over the crossbar and end up going in just above head high. So, I mean, they were the ones. I mean, the modern era then, of course, you've Eddie Brennan, Richie Power, and he got in his hand, you're going for the puck and out hurley as well. But Joe Canning then from a dead ball is the other one. I mean, when Joe again hits it, like, and these fellas pride themselves on getting goals. You know, before the match that they're thinking as part of their goals, I need to get 1 or 2 goals here, and a point isn't good enough for me. You know, so they would be the ones through history that have faced that. You'll be going to yourself, when they get it, I'd be on my guard here.
Well, look, Brendan, you've been brilliant with your time. Maybe you want to give a final word to Michael Verney there as he starts his latest set.
Yeah, so Jackson, best of luck, Michael. You're doing for a fantastic cause. Couldn't be for an awfully fella to back down from any kind of a challenge anyway. So I'm sure you'll have muscles on your arms on you like Popeye by the time you're finished. But well done, boy. I have the donation made anyway, so we're all set from the Cummins household. So well done to all of you. Fair play.
Cheers. Thanks very much, Brendan. Michael.
No matter. Look, guys, well done.